Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ask ServiceMonster show, where you've got questions for your service business, and we've got your answer. Today's question comes from Joe, and I want to get it right here. He says, Mr. Joe, what do you do when you get burned out? You seem like you're always going all the time. Lately, I'm feeling like I'm just going through the motions. I'm exhausted, man. Saw your video giving up and ending your business. That's not me, but I needed help to stay motivated. So any advice? So I assume he's talking about the video we did last week on things to watch for a business that's on its descent, right? And one of those things obviously was just a business owner giving up. And that's not where he's coming from here. So I want to take a minute and define the term burned out, because that can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. The first one's pretty obvious to me. That's just exhaustion. You're just tired. You're just absolutely like drained of all energy because you haven't been getting good enough sleep or you're not healthy. And then sometimes the universe just has its way with you. And I'll go through this occasionally. A handful of people will leave the company. You've got some personal things going on at home, and just everything is just banging on you like, some sort of a weird Chinese drip torture. I get it. But that I wouldn't consider to be burned out. Like, you just need to fight through that stuff. Losing your fire, your passion, your interest, that's a bigger deal. And I think that's what more people mean when they use the term burned out as a business owner or entrepreneur. They're just deflated. They're bored. They don't think they're going anywhere. We'll address those. You could suddenly feel like you're on the wrong path. You're going down, you're all excited and passionate. You do it for a couple years, you get stuck, you start to look around, you're like, is this what I thought it was going to be? Obviously, that's kind of like losing your passion, but maybe then you realize this isn't really my purpose. I would rather be doing something else. And now not anything else, right? You have a thing to go to, but sometimes you just realize that this isn't who you are. So instead of approaching what do you do when you get burned out, I've got a list of 9 items here that can help you avoid it altogether. And when people ask me this question, my first go-to is number 1, perspective. Look, I have an unfair advantage here. I had cancer in 2000, right? Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 3B. My prognosis was good, but it still hits you in the face. And a lot of people were really concerned. And that put shit into perspective very, very quickly. And over the next 6 to 8 months, I went through chemo and radiation therapy. And when I went into remission, I suddenly had a newfound respect for life and my purpose in this whole game. That has another interesting effect. I'm positive almost all the time. I mean, things can get me down or I could get pissed off once in a while, but the small stuff, man, I just don't sweat it. It doesn't make any sense because in the bigger picture, compared to what? Like, I want to start using that phrase all the time when people hit me up a messenger and whine about something. Compared to what? Like, oh, I didn't get into Harvard and so I don't have an Ivy League school degree and so I can't do computer programming. Compared to what? Like, there's kids in Ethiopia that'll never have a shot at coding. Like, what are you talking about? And look, like, I've got plenty of EQ and I care about what people think, especially when it comes to our product, because we're developing it for them. But I ignore the shade. Like, I'm not even concerned with people who have negative opinions of me or the business personally. That's fine, you can have that opinion. It just has no influence on me at all. And I know a lot of people that affects them greatly. They're very concerned about what other people think. And if you've been in business 3 years and you're supposed to be some big businessman and yet you're still struggling as a self-employed business owner, that can be demoralizing. You just gotta shake that stuff off, man. It makes no sense at all. Now, if this is hard for you, perspective is hard for you. I mean, obviously, I don't suggest everyone go get cancer, but how about volunteering a little bit? Go spend some time with people in hospice or old folks home. Listen to their stories. I guarantee you'll gain some perspective shift once you realize what's important. Number 2, practice some gratitude. Take stock of what you have. Health, family. I mean, even if you're low to middle class, you own your own business. That's a big deal. And I just say that in terms of money. Like, I was that way for 5-6 years after a $100,000 a year job because we were eating top ramen and trying to get this business off the ground. And it's a big deal, but you got to shave it. Like, have some gratitude. What's interesting to me is if you've been following my journey, I have a homestead. And for the last year, we've been dealing with water issues. And at the sound of not sounding too gross, like it goes 3 or 4 days before we can take showers, right? A hot shower every once in a while, I have a lot of gratitude for that. So that helps me put things in perspective. Did you ever have gratitude for your bed, your nice warm bed? How about the heat, right? So just take some stock every once in a while. All right, I'll touch on it, but number 3, relight your fire. Why did you get in this business in the first place? What do those first things taste like? Your first decision to go it on your own. The first time you actually performed your service and got paid, right? The first time you were hunting for an employee or your truck or equipment and you spent money out of a business account. What did those taste like? Have you forgotten about those? Like, go reignite that fire. Number 4, and it's a big one, schedule your time effectively. Like, there's only one you, and you only have so many hours in the day. You've got to make sure that you're using your time wisely. I mean, if you're pushing the wander out in the field 12 or 14 hours a day, you got to think about how you're going to be able to dial that back. That is not sustainable, right? You need the proper amount of sleep. You need to spend time with your family. And I think that entrepreneurs, especially service providers who are going through this, haven't yet made the mental shift between work and work. Pushing the wand is one thing, but you can be working 24/7 up here and you don't need to be in the office or the field. And so making that transition to keeping your physical embodiment in your business to a minimal amount, right? So 8-10 hours a day. And then the rest of your time, you're up in your head, even when you're spending some time with your family or you're alone at night right before you go to sleep. Take some quiet time. Like schedule your stuff at work appropriately, offload those mental exercises to off hours. But man, every once in a while, get some quiet time. For an hour in the morning, I will often not come into work. I will sit in my car somewhere, sip on my coffee, and just kind of explore. Be alone with my thoughts for a minute. You can meditate, you can pray, like whatever flavor like works for you, but get some alone time where you're quiet, no one can bug you, and you can just decompress a little bit and kind of plan out your next moves. I'll go back to the perspective and say, give back. Spend a little time and schedule a little time giving back. That could be easy in the form of giving back value to your clients and prospects. Could be at volunteering at some places. Could be rolling around a hot dog cart, right? Just do something to give back a little bit. Focus on family time. Spend time with your kids and your wife. Like, don't neglect them because you're building a massive empire, right? The Gary Vee model only works for Gary Vee and his wife, and if he gets the jets, I'll give him a high five, but is he going to lose his kids in the process? Time will tell. For me, family is very important, and it's important in my company that my employees have that family connection and work-life balance as well. And so focus on that. Again, you can be spending a lot of time working on your business up here. Take a vacation. Once in a while, go recharge. For me, this looks like a get it lost in the Cascades trip. Throw some packs on, get some tents, and just head out into the wilderness. For some people, that's a coastal trip or museums, looking at history, right? Old battlefronts, maybe traveling overseas and taking a look at some real history. Whatever your flavor is, spend a little bit of time once in a while taking a vacation. Now, I'm not saying you have to schedule a yearly 4-week trip. I mean, there's still the hustle to be had, but you may want to go every 2 years and take a 2-week trip somewhere, or maybe spend a weekend even getting lost in the woods. All right, number 5, battling that crazy burnout. Focus on mini victories. Right? Those little wins are a big deal. This is what drives me all the time. It's like little bursts of energy that are just allowing you to keep moving forward a little bit by little bit. Those mini victories are a big deal. And for engineers, it's kind of a way of life, right? Because you're fighting, and then it works. And you go, yeah! And you're all excited, you bang on the desk, and then you work on the next issue. Try simplifying your life a little bit. Cut out unnecessary things, right? Stop saying yes to everything. I'll get to that. But you can simplify your life a lot with some processes. Take a look at the most problematic areas and solve those first. And just reverse engineer and go backwards. Number 6, and something I'm horribly guilty of right now, get healthy. Eat right, exercise, sleep well. That can go a long way to giving you the energy you need to push through when things get real for a minute, or you lose your why for a minute, or perspective, or gratitude, or any of the things in the list which will help you fly off course. Staying healthy is a big deal for everyone around you. I mean, if you're not healthy for your family or for your employees, like as you start to age out, man, that starts to become a real deal. Avoid overload. Protect your yes. I see a lot of you guys saying yes to everything, even yes to yourself. Like, I'm gonna go do this other thing. Okay, yes. If that's your deal, if that's really where your soul is taking you, that you need to be on this other journey, that's fine. Work on a transitionary plan to ditch your service business and go do that other thing. And be cautious and smart and take your time and be patient. Make that happen. But if you're just doing it to doing it because you find it interesting, or your buddy keeps asking you to do things for them and you just keep saying yes over and over again, you're just monopolizing your time. Time is precious, right? Take control of that. General advice here, stop saying no and kill what's in front of you. Number 8, keep growing, both personally and professionally. When our businesses get stagnant or we feel we're not growing as a person, we get bored. And sometimes it can feel defeating. If we're not moving forward, we feel like we're moving backwards. So maybe you need to take stock in your business, take some ideas about what you can do to change things, make it feel anew. A lot of times I can see coaches helping in this arena or taking some coursework specific to the industry, like strategies for success. But at the end of the day, it really is about making sure that you are moving forward as a person, that you're continually learning and advancing and growing. And if you don't feel like that's happening, time to make some changes. And number 9, develop a thick skin. As a business owner, even if you're not putting yourself out there, you're a target. Your clients and prospects are analyzing you and your business all the time. And you need to be able to take that feedback and separate the stuff that's important and that will benefit your business and your products and how you interact with your client, and ditch the rest. Like, it's irrelevant. Don't worry about the negativity that people will throw your way, especially if you're finding yourself putting yourself out there more. If you are using that as a vehicle to drive more business and using social media and videos and all of the tools that we have, and every once in a while someone comes along and says, oh, why you have no right to do this, like, forget them. It's no big deal. There's lots of people over the last year that have come to us and said, thank you for what you're doing. It's made a big impact in their lives, in their business, and I'll win on that every single day. All right, guys, wrapping up, 3 major points here. Number 1, the best way to deal with burnout is to avoid it altogether. Number 2, stay focused on your why, and again, make that a mission for your whole company. And number 3, you're human. Hustle smarter. Take a holistic approach and get your work-life balance in point, because it's more than just about your work. It includes your family and your health. Until next time, guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go check out the demo. Give us a call.